Did you know a group of thieves stole $3.4 million in just 90 seconds using nothing but hammers and makeup? In 2008, the infamous Pink Panthers set their sights on Dubai's Wafi Mall. For months, they studied every security camera, every guard rotation, every escape route. On the day of the heist, they walked in wearing wigs and fake mustaches like something from a movie. But what happened next was pure chaos. They smashed display cases with hammers, while terrified customers watched in shock. Diamonds and gold flew everywhere as alarms screamed. 90 seconds later, they vanished. Using forged passports, they escaped through multiple countries before police even arrived. This single job was just one heist in their decade-long crime spree across 35 countries. The Pink Panthers had just pulled off one of the most brazen daylight robberies in history. Did you know a charming Italian pulled off one of Britain's biggest heists by simply being the perfect customer? For months in 1987, Valerio Vice visited the Knightsbridge Safe Deposit Center like clockwork. He chatted with staff, built trust, learned every detail of their security. The manager never suspected this friendly regular was planning the ultimate betrayal. Then, on July 7th, during what seemed like a routine visit, Vice pulled out a gun. His gang stormed in, taking everyone hostage for 3 grueling hours. They drilled open 120 safe deposit boxes, stealing 60 million pounds in cash, gold, and jewelry. The perfect crime, until Vici made one tiny mistake. A single fingerprint on a wine glass led police straight to him. Sometimes the smallest details bring down the biggest criminals. Did you know a small-time contractor created the most perfect counterfeit money in Canadian history? In 2007, Frank Bourassa seemed like any ordinary Quebec businessman fixing roofs and building decks. But in his basement, he was studying real $20 bills under microscopes for months. He sourced genuine cotton linen paper from legitimate suppliers, reverse-engineered color-shifting ink formulas. Every security feature was meticulously replicated with scientific precision. Then he started printing $250 million worth of fake Canadian 20s. His bills were so perfect they fooled bank machines across North America. For 2 years, his counterfeit money circulated through major banks completely undetected. Tellers, ATMs, even currency experts couldn't tell the difference. When the RCMP finally raided his sophisticated printing facility, they were stunned. This wasn't some amateur operation. It was a masterpiece of criminal engineering. Bourassa had created the most convincing fake currency anyone had ever seen. One man's obsession with perfection nearly broke the banking system. Did you know the world's most famous art theft was pulled off by a simple maintenance worker? In 1911, Vincenzo Peruggia worked at the Louvre, quietly mopping floors and fixing frames. For months, he studied the Mona Lisa's security while doing routine repairs. On Monday morning, August 21st, when the museum was closed to visitors, he made his move. Peruggia simply walked to the painting, lifted it off the wall, and hid it under his work coat. Guards who knew him waved as he strolled out the door. The theft sparked global panic. Even Picasso was arrested as a suspect. 2 years later, Peruggia tried selling the masterpiece to an Italian art dealer. The dealer immediately called police. One janitor had fooled the entire world. Did you know Britain's biggest cash heist started with a family dinner? February 21st, 2006. Depot manager Colin Dixon was driving home in Kent when armed men forced his car off the road. But they didn't want him yet. The gang had already kidnapped his wife and 8-year-old son from their home. Cooperate or they die, they told him. The next morning, Dixon was forced at gunpoint to let the criminals into the Securitas depot. For hours, they loaded $53 million in cash while Dixon watched helplessly. The shocking twist: one robber was an inside man who knew every security detail. Within weeks, most were caught, but 21 million vanished forever. The perfect inside job with one fatal flaw: greed. Did you know a bank robbery created an entirely new psychological condition? In August 1973, escaped convict Jan Erik Olsson stormed into Kreditbanken in Stockholm with a machine gun. He demanded the release of his criminal friend Clark Olofsson and barricaded himself with 4 hostages in the bank vault. For 6 days, police surrounded the building in a tense standoff. But something strange happened inside that vault. The hostages began defending their captors against police. Hostage Kristen Enmark even called the Prime Minister, criticizing police tactics and pleading for the criminals' safety. When tear gas finally ended the siege, the hostages refused to testify against Olsen and Olafsson. They had formed an emotional bond with their captors. Psychologists were baffled by this bizarre trauma response. They named it Stockholm Syndrome. One failed robbery changed how we understand the human mind forever.
End of true stories. More will come. Please subscribe.